to the parking lot. That's when somebody tried to rob him and killed the dude. What the hell my 19-year-old cousin gonna try to rob and kill somebody? Bro, we getting money, man. We getting money. That ain't our...
Everybody know me, bro. That ain't my stilo, bro. You know what I'm saying? That ain't how I get down, bro. Like, that ain't how none of my people get down.
Man, Lord.
That nigga gonna have $1,000 on his
Okay, so let me tell you something right now. Boosie is in some deep water, and I'm not talking about the kind you can swim out of. We're talking quicksand, concrete boots, the whole nine. This man is catching heat from every single direction, and honestly, the streets are not playing with him anymore. Ever since those rumors started swirling that H.E. was the one who called the hit on Duke the Jeweler, it's been nothing. And listen, this isn't just some social media cancel culture mess. Nah, this is real life consequences. Word on the street is he already got his hands caught once, and if he even thinks about going back, the risk of violence is sitting right there waiting for him like an uninvited guest. Now here's where it gets even messier. Boosie has heavy ties to mob ties, and Duke died playing their loaded dice game. You hear me? A rigged game. This whole situation is giving major takeoff vibes, and that alone should tell you how serious this is. The public is out here asking the hard questions now. Did Boosie sacrifice Duke for the culture? Was Duke set up as some kind of blood offering? Or is Boosie being framed by people who want him out of the way? Because let me tell you, Duke's death didn't feel like no accident. It felt calculated. It felt cold. It felt like an execution. Now, let's rewind and talk about Duke the Jeweler for a second, because his story matters. Duke was at this dice game all night long, surrounded by people he thought were his friends. Duke had built his entire empire from the ground up. This man worked with some of the biggest clients in the game, traveling from Chicago all the way down to Houston to handle business. He wasn't some random, he was respected, he was known. And Boosie personally invited him down to Houston to discuss some custom jewelry pieces. Duke showed up ready to work, carrying a duffel bag with $1 million worth of unreleased designs, fresh pieces, exclusive work. He had no idea that this trip, this one business move, was going to be his last. And that duffel bag, oh, we're gonna get into what happened to that bag, because that detail right there becomes real suspicious real fast. So let's talk about how this whole dice game was set up, because according to multiple reports, this thing was a trap from the very beginning. Whack 100 came out and exposed the whole operation, breaking down how these Houston dice games, especially the ones hosted by Jay Prince and his circle, are straight up dangerous. Like, you're not just risking your money when you walk into one of these games, you're risking your life. The chance of losing both is sky high, and Duke fell right into the trap and paid the ultimate price. His life was the cost of entry, and he didn't even know it. Now here's how these rigged dice games actually work, and this is where it gets real foul. The dice are loaded. The rollers are manipulated. The entire setup is designed so that only Jay, Prince Jr., or members of mob ties ever walk away with the money. It's a robbery dressed up as a fair game. The house always wins. But here's where the plan went sideways. Somehow, someone passed the loaded dice to Duke by mistake, completely messing up their whole system. And Duke started winning. Not just a little bit, big. He was stacking money.
He got three right, who rotate the dice. Now these dice is loaded. Tell me it's a Wolf, Big Caprice, and watch this, and Little Cam are the loaded dice rotators, right? He said, what? There was a situation that occurred that a certain jeweler around and got past the dice on accident and was hitting on them for a couple hundred. They got irritated about that. I ain't gonna go too far into that story because, right, boom. The only way they could get their money back was however money back. He said, but Lil Cam Wolf and
documenting his winning streak, posting it, living in the moment. The tension kept building every time Duke dropped another stack. He was out here filming himself, hyped up, money flying, but the people around him, they weren't celebrating with him. Viewers who went back and analyzed the footage later started noticing the side glances, the whispers, the hand signals being passed around the room. And here's the kicker. Allegedly, Jay Prince gets 30% of all the money that moves through these game nights. So when Duke kept winning, he wasn't just beating the game, he was messing up the entire money flow. He was cutting into percentages. People went back frame by frame, and that's when they spotted it. Boosie was signaling his nephew, clear as day. The nephew locked in, and just like that, the entire vibe in the room shifted. The energy went from playful to cold, from loose to tense. You could feel the switch, and Duke was right in the middle of it, completely unaware. Minutes after the game wrapped up, Duke walked to his car, alone, no security, despite the fact that he was carrying millions in jewelry and designs. Shots rang out shortly after, and Duke never made it home. Now here's the question everybody's asking. Why would Boosie invite Duke down to Houston knowing he's carrying all that value and not provide security? And even bigger than that, why didn't J. Prince Jr. have security at his own dice game? A game where millions are moving around? That don't add up. None of it adds up. When the police arrived on the scene, they were told Duke got ambushed by robbers. A random stick-up, wrong place, wrong time type situation. The $1 million bag. And guess where that bag ended up? At Boosie's house. Now, it's unclear whether Duke gave it to Boosie before he died or if Boosie took it after, but either way, that bag being at Boosie's spot is raising all kinds of red flags. So Boosie, feeling the heat, went live trying to spin this whole robbery narrative. He's sitting there looking shaky, claiming he barely even knew Duke. But wait, hold up, you invited Duke to a private dice game. Duke only came to Houston because you requested a custom jewelry piece. So how are you gonna sit there and act like y'all weren't connected? Boosie looked pale during that live, rattled. His explanations weren't adding up, and people could see right through it.
Hey, the internet, y'all got us all the way up. We met that dude, Duke the Jeweler, the night before. We was gambling. The next day, dude followed us to the concert. When we left out the concert, we under the garage, dude went to his car by himself and walked down to the parking lot. That's when somebody tried to rob him and killed the dude. What the hell my 19-year-old cousin gonna try to rob and kill somebody? Bro, we getting money, man. We getting money. That ain't our stilo. As a boss, I ain't letting that go down like that, man. This dude finna make me a piece. So y'all need to kill that. That's bad low, man. Don't put us in nothing with no bad low. It's bad low, man. This shit bad low, man. Straight up, this shit bad low. Kill it.
The public reaction was swift and brutal. Nobody believed Boosie's version of events. The comments section lit up, accusing him of watching Duke's every single move that night like a hawk. Feds stepped in because the suspicions got too loud to ignore. And turns out, Boosie was already on their radar for gun charges.
So the next day, dude hit my partner like, man, y'all got the concert, let us trail y'all, woo-de-woo. So dude went with us to the concert, and after I come off stage, everybody leaving. You know, we parked under the parking lot, under the arena where the celebrities parking and all that shit. He was in another car. He walked to his car. His car was outside the arena under where we was. It was on side the parking lot, so he had to walk to his car. And that's where the incident took place when somebody, you know, tried to get him or whatever. But Vlad, bro, if anybody know me, bro, that ain't my stilo, bro. You know what I'm saying? That ain't how I get down, bro. Like, that ain't how none of my people get down. And then that's just the bottom line. That's shit that we wouldn't do. And, you know, we was about it because obviously they were watching us. You know, obviously they were waiting for anybody to walk across that parking lot to them cars and get in them cars. So, you know, it could have been one of us, man. You know what I'm saying? But it's just that happened to that dude. You know, it just internet trying.
So now they're digging deep, and the evidence they found, disturbing. Duke's phone last pinged at Boosie's studio. That means someone in Boosie's circle had to have taken it there. Then the feds found fingerprints. Boosie's cousin's fingerprints, his nephew's fingerprints, both inside Duke's rental car. You remember that signal Boosie gave his nephew during the dice game? Yeah, that moment right there is looking more and more like the exact second Duke's fate got sealed. An eyewitness eventually came forward with a chilling account. They saw Duke walking to his car, and Boosie's nephew allegedly ambushed him right there. Duke swung first, tried to defend himself. The federal investigation has expanded like wildfire. They're digging into Boosie's businesses, his communications, his whole operation. They're even investigating his son now. Full surveillance is underway. They're watching every move, waiting for him to slip up, and you know he's gonna slip eventually. They always do. The streets have completely turned against Boosie at this point. Last time he went back home, he got jumped. Straight up. Now he can't even walk around without heavy security. He's constantly looking over his shoulder, paranoid, knowing that at any moment somebody could run up on him. And the wildest part? His own actions helped create this dangerous check-in culture that's got everybody moving reckless. Let's talk about that check-in culture for a second, because it's gotten out of control. Boosie and J. Prince Jr. pushed this narrative heavy. The idea that if you come to Houston, you gotta pay respect, you gotta check in, you gotta pay up, and if you don't, you get robbed. Or worse. These dice games have become hunting grounds, and the violence just keeps escalating. Remember Takeoff? He died just weeks after Duke at another one of these dice games. This culture is claiming lives left and right, and it's not stopping. All this violence linked back to Boosie is destroying his reputation. Brands are distancing themselves. Business deals are getting paused indefinitely. Even mob ties, the crew he was so tight with, they're not supporting him anymore. He's isolated, cut off, alone. Then came the DJ Vlad interview, and people were expecting Boosie to finally come clean, give some clarity, explain his side. The public doesn't believe him anymore. Trust is gone. Credibility is gone. So here's where we're at right now. The streets have turned their backs on Boosie. The feds are closing in tighter every single day. And Boosie, he's staying quiet, keeping those sunglasses on, but you can tell by the way he moves, by the way he carries himself, that he knows the walls are closing in. It's only a matter of time before everything comes crashing down, and when it does, it's gonna be loud, real loud.